This is the teammate, made in Milan, Italy. It's been around. The company's been around since '77, so long track record of success. Everything resistance welding they do. Not only this, because this is a spot welder for resistance welding. So advantages for this is A, easy for the user. All the programming is done over here. Then all the user has to know, you can have 99 programs in here. Then you have 16 programs up here. This is what the user is going to be. So if I'm doing stainless steel and it's number 5, I set number 5. All the parameters I need to know, that need to be known to do that weld, are all in there. The user doesn't have to know any of that. So it's easier to get your skill level up and get a person started. You have a versatile bed, and the reason for this bed is so that it can be versatile. There's no jigging required. You can literally go anywhere on this whole bed. It's designed to be able to handle large pieces of doors, large 4x8. So a little shy, it's in metric, but a little shy at 4 foot by 8 foot. So you can have a large, instead of your traditional way of taking a large panel workpiece and putting it in, moving it around, you actually are able to move this around. So it has a X and a Y axis, and those can be locked in as well. So if I want to be on the X axis and follow that, I can lock that X axis in, and I can follow and be in a straight line, kind of on a grid. You can also be on a Y axis, so if you were going in the opposite direction. You also have the ability of, say if I needed to be specific on a spot and I didn't want it to move, I can lock both axes in at the same time, and then it's going to be in that spot. So to weld, there's a good safety feature here as well. Traditional welding is you're going to probably use a foot pedal. This one uses your hands, and a safety feature is there's a lot of pressure that comes down when this happens, as you'll see. Both hands have to be up here to operate. Okay, so you're going to push both buttons in at the same time, and that created your weld. So this is the unseen side, and it's cool enough to the touch. You're not creating so much heat to deform the metal. That's another advantage. You keep your heat down so you don't deform the sheet metal. But on the opposite side, you get a pretty good finish that can, in most cases, go straight to finish. Paint, powder coat, whatever it may be. So you also have a 2 times increased throughput. In other words, the user can generally produce twice as much work out of this machine versus doing it the traditional style. Also, ergonomically with the user, instead of moving a hard, big, heavy piece around, this takes no effort to move this axis around. Literally, you can easily move it in one hand, turns easily. It will turn both ways, go all the way to the back. You can go all the way around the machine to operate it. So if you need to reach that spot back there, you can go back there safely. It's open on all sides so that you could have a large piece that you needed to, it's bigger than a table, that you could move through it if you needed to as well. You can do galvanized, you can do stainless, you can do aluminum, mild steel. Your thickness points on steel, stainless, galvanized, so on. 8 millimeters total thickness, meaning a 4.4 or a 5.3, whatever. Aluminum is a little thinner. It's 0.157 thickness on aluminum. But although you don't require jigs, you can create a squaring template with marks on it so you know how far apart you want them to be. So you take all of the thought that a user really has to do. All they really have to follow is minimal instructions to create the product that you need. And as another example, say your user is out sick, on vacation, something happens, someone else can easily step in and operate the machine and keep it going until that user comes back. This is the size of the machine. As we said, it's 4 foot by 8 foot table size. You have a 10 millimeter copper bed, and you have a 5 millimeter copper roof. And what happens is when I weld, if you look up here, you have a copper pad that's going to make the connection here, and your tip is going to make the connection down here. So that makes your tip. And how you get the finishes, this whole bed is not a point, so that you're able to get a nice flat finish instead of a dimple that you usually have.
How many times will you have to replace the tip on this type of machine?
Uh, they last a long time. You do. It's subjective to what you're using. Galvanized is harder on it than stainless, but it comes with 10 tips. This is a example of a new tip. So this tip, you have about an inch that you can resurface. In other words, when this tip gets a little gnarly, pull it out, put a new one in, put this over in a resurface pile, resurface it, you'll be able to use it again. So you get 10 tips with it. The table could be considered a consumable over a long period of time, but the table you can resurface. You can take a Scotch-Brite pad, keep it clean. It also comes with a sander that you can, after a year maybe, you can refinish the whole thing because you can get scratches and gouges in it. 480 volts, 3-phase, 125 amps of power. You have a water cooler, a chiller that's going to chill the tip. You also have 2 transformers in there that transform it from AC to DC for your welding. They're also water chilled as well. So, yeah, very sturdy machine, well built, good thick material. It's one of those machines that could be around 50 years from now.
How would you say the teammate table welder would make an immediate impact if someone were to add this to their shop?
Uh, First off, throughput, you can increase your throughput, so you increase it by double. Safety, which is a concern. This is a very safe machine. When you hit, it takes both buttons, so you can't have a hand down there to pinch yourself. Very versatile. So if you're a shop that takes all comers, all things, it's pretty versatile that you can do it. You don't require jigging or anything. The industry that it's for would be doors, commercial doors, say a steel door that you would have in a commercial building, elevator doors, emergency exit doors. Also, AI industry is very large now. It's a growing industry. So all of those server cabinets, require fastening of a couple different ways. It could either be riveting, it could be regular seam welding, or it could be glued on, obviously. The easiest and most efficient way is spot welding. Easy. All of those other processes have drawbacks that this will outshine. In other words, no heat, so you don't deform with your traditional welding. With a rivet, it's going to loosen over time. This is going to stay solid. Of course, gluing, it will deteriorate over time. I have an example for you here too to show you the strength of it. Just 2 little spots, just starting, and you see the strength of just those minimal welding. Another advantage of this machine too, it'll take less power to operate than your traditional. You can bottle it down. It's more directed, so you can save a little energy as well.